Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Southern Boy Farm. My name is Kelvin, and today we're going to be planting my very first plantain tree. I got this about 2 weeks ago at a nursery that I frequent down in Homestead, Florida. And when I first got it, this leaf right here was all curled up like this leaf, and now you can see we've got the next one. So she is well on her way to giving me a nice big rack of plantains next summer. Now, plantains are in the same family with the banana trees, and I've got many of those. If you haven't seen the video, you can click on the card above and it'll take you to that group of videos. But where they differ is in both the size of the bananas. Plantains are anywhere from 2/3 to twice the size. Let me put it another way. They are from 1.5 to 2 times the size of bananas. The skin is a lot thicker and tougher, and they are eaten when they are green, yellow, and black. Ooh, black is the sweetest, but they have a very high starch content, so that's why they're not usually eaten raw. We tend to go ahead and use them in stews. We fry them to make tostones. We go ahead and you buy bags of plantain chips in the store. All of that comes from this magnificent tree right here. So, and I say tree, but it's a plant. Both bananas and plantains don't have any type of wood structure to them, which makes them plants. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've picked an area in the yard that is far enough from the neighbor's yard behind me so that I don't have to worry about where the pups that will come towards the end of its year-long life will pop up, and in that way I will have plantains again the following year. Both plantains and bananas will produce their own offspring and keep going and going and going, similar to the Energizer rabbit. So I'm going to put this plant right here in the yard, and first I need to dig a hole. Now, the best thing to do when planting anything, whether it's flowers or trees, is you want to dig a hole that's at least twice as large as what you're planting. And what that does is it allows you to be able to fill back in with some dirt, compost, perlite, peat moss, etc., that's going to be loose, so that the roots that are already established on your plant or tree now have a place to actually extend out horizontally and vertically without having to be crushed and forcing their way through. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What I like to do is I go ahead and I put whatever I'm planting in place, and then I make a mark around it as to the dimensions of the hole I'm going to do. Also, the riser for my sprinkler system is right here. It's a half arc, and I don't want it to be fully blocked because all of this stuff that grows out here in front of it needs to be watered on a regular basis. Whew. I got my towel out here. It's my trusty assistant when I'm working during the daytime, because right now it is officially 90 degrees with a 59% humidity, and according to the folks over there in the weather station, that means it feels like 99. But I don't have no degree in meteorology, but I think it feels more than 99. But let's go ahead and get started, because once 2 o'clock comes around, ain't nobody got time to be out here digging around in the dirt. Now I'm gonna set the plantain over on the side there, and let me adjust the camera so you can see. Although I'm quite sure you know what a hole is, I want you to see what I mean when you want to have twice the size. Okay, hopefully you can see where I am, and I know you can hear. So let's get going. Now, I'm making an adjustment to where I'm putting the hole from where I initially made the marks, because as I started digging down, I realized that the pipe for this sprinkler head is right here. And I don't want to have to dig a whole new irrigation line. So we'll just slide the tree over. So what I do is I go ahead, before I unbasket it, and I take and I stick it in the hole, and the top is just below the surface of my ground. So now I know I'm deep enough. I'm going to backfill with a little bit of compost, and we should be good. All right. So hopefully there's not too much glare and you can still see me, but right here is where I'm going to go ahead and put it in the ground. And how I like to fill it back is not with dirt. I usually do it that way if I'm just doing flowers, but because I'm doing something that I want to produce a good size and amount of fruit, I'm going to backfill this in with both compost and cow manure from Black Cow. So I put the compost in and bring the ground back to the level. Oh, cool. This was a bag that I used to refill compost in until I decide to go and buy a wheelbarrow or some equivalent to be able to take compost from my compost pile and to put it back in here. I just use this old bag, kind of my way of recycling it and using it to its fullest. All right, so now that I've got to the level where I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take it out of its container. And look at that. You can see its root system. I let it go one full day without watering it so that the dirt would be compacted and tight around it, so that when I go to put it in the ground now, it'll be just fine. But what I am going to do is I'm going to rough up the bottom here, and I'm going to rough up the sides, trying to still be gentle and not kill the roots, but I want to loosen them up so that they get to a point where now they know weed's free and they can go and do whatever it is they need to do until the farmer decides, hey, I want to plant something else in that area. So now you see I teased it away. And I've got roots that are loosened. To the point where they'll begin to go off in all the directions that they need to. Whoop! P.S. Watch out for the hole. It may be behind you. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in its place. And then I'm going to fill the hole around it with cow manure. And I buy the black cow manure. If any of you out there watching are in the South Florida area, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, doesn't matter. I think I'd even drive over to Naples at this point, to Monroe County, down in the Keys or out in the Everglades. But if you know somewhere or someone who has cow manure that they just want to get rid of, or that they want to sell at a decent price, let me know down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to go and pick some up. This black cow is not so expensive, but when I start big with planting, especially with the upcoming fall season, it's going to take quite a bit, and that usually means I have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy 10 to 12 bags at a time, and ain't nobody got time for that. So I'd rather be able to go and get one big truck bed full, dump it in a corner somewhere, give it to friends, give it to family, but then I've got it for whenever I get ready to go. Now, I use my feet as a weight to pack the soil back in, and it's good because I don't want this to be loose to where once it starts getting this established and the rains come and that loose dirt begins to just fall away, it'll begin to lean and lean and lean, and by then it may be too late to correct, and I don't want that. You don't want that either. So let's go ahead, finish putting this in there, pack it all in. Now, I just took out extra dirt so that it was loose enough for the roots to go. Believe me, it's not so tight as to not allow the roots to come back and grow into it. Just enough so that I make sure that there's no air pockets around the roots and to keep it upright. So, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get the water hose and I'm going to water this in. But you don't need to stick around for that. You all know how that goes. Water on, well-watered plant typically survives. So once again, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to me here on Southern Boy Farm. Give us a like, dislike, God bless America, it doesn't matter to me which. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about plantains, foods that you've eaten, that you've enjoyed with plantains, some possible recipes that I can use next year when I go ahead and I cook up these plantains. And until the next time, Be good to one another. To love yourself and to love those around you costs you absolutely nothing, and in the end will bring you loads and loads of blessings. Until the next time, bye.